Welcome back. Today's case involves a self-represented driver who identifies as an American state national and rejects what is, frankly, an unusually generous resolution to a traffic case. Instead of accepting the offer, he insists on pushing the matter toward trial. He appears without counsel, and that choice shapes everything that follows.
Now calling the matter of the people versus Timothy Talley Williams. This is ticket number on the docket today was SP 1283888. Count 1, drove while license suspended. Count 2, open alcohol in a motor vehicle. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Not on the docket are tickets number SX 2454328. Count 1, open intoxicants in a vehicle driver. Count 2, furnish false forged info to police officer. Ticket SP 1452301, driver's license never acquired. Count 1. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Ticket SP 1466801, count 1, drive unregistered or untitled vehicle. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, driver's license never acquired. Ticket number SP 1418401, count 1, open alcohol in a motor vehicle driver. Count 2, tinted windows. Count 3, operator or front seat passenger failed to wear a safety belt. Ticket number SP 1467130, tinted windows. And tickets SP 1409982, count 1, drive unregistered untitled vehicle. Count 2 of that same ticket is drove while unlicensed.
Record shows a long list of citations. We are not talking about a single paperwork issue. The total count matters because it explains why the court is even willing to negotiate. When a defendant faces this many alleged violations, discretion from the prosecution is not guaranteed. Here, it was offered anyway.
Appearances for the record, starting with, I don't know if he was given counsel or not. Counsel?
Aaron Ruck on behalf of Mr. Timothy Williams. Mr. Williams, state your name.
I object to counsel.
What was that?
I object to counsel.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Williams. He's saying it's not him, and he's all rights reserved. His name is all in all capital.
I object to representation.
What was that, sir?
I object to representation by you.
Okay. So you would like to represent yourself, Mr. Williams?
I'm not representing myself. I'm just here on special appearance, trying to clear this matter.
Okay, so you have to be the person in order to clear these matters. You just can't appear on behalf of someone unless you're an attorney. Are you an attorney, Mr. Williams?
I'm not the person, but I'm the live living Williams, not the Timothy Williams.
Are you Timothy Talley Williams? Do you know Timothy Talley Williams?
I am Timothy Williams, the living, breathing Timothy Williams, not the all cat that stays on my ticket.
Early on, the defendant confirms the ticket is his while simultaneously attempting to separate himself from the legal identity named on it. That contradiction creates problems immediately. Courts deal with people as identified by the charging documents. You cannot accept the benefits of participation while denying the identity.
Okay. All right. So do you want to try and resolve these today or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you need an offer? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because we can try and resolve all these tickets today if you want to.
Well, I'm just, because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme
Okay.
Court.
So if you travel, drive, ride, anything on the city streets of Detroit, then you have to follow the rules that the city of Detroit has imposed. And so if you have not followed these rules, then you receive something called tickets. And these tickets are given to you based on the license or prior license or identification ID that is given to you. So we can either resolve these today or we don't have to resolve them. It's okay. But I would like to try and resolve these so that you can move forward and do whatever you need to do.
Yes, I would like to resolve them, but as the officer is seeing in his computer that by the Secretary of State, my ID has been rescinded, canceled. I have a passport, and that's...
The defendant presents a passport as identification and argues that it should substitute for a driver's license. Under Michigan law, operating a motor vehicle on a public roadway requires a valid driver's license issued. For that purpose, A passport establishes nationality. It does not grant driving privileges.
I'm traveling. I don't drive. I just drive here.
Hold on, but if you drive in a vehicle, you need to have a driver's license. Your passport does not enable you the ability to be able to drive on the streets of Michigan.
I travel not for business and commerce. I just
Same thing. They have to have licenses as well. Have you ever heard of a truck driver without a license that drives on the commutes on the freeways, roads, or byways? It does not happen. You have to have a license to drive on the city of Detroit, state of Michigan. All 50 states are under my assumption and ability. So, Mr. Williams, I can't go back and forth. I have a lot of people on my screen. I know you can't see. We can have this discussion, but it just has to be near the end of the docket if you don't want to resolve it right now. Okay?
But for the record, Your Honor, I don't drive.
Go ahead.
For the record,
Okay.
I do not drive.
Okay.
Your Honor.
So how do you want to resolve it today? If you don't want to resolve it, I have to move to the next person, Mr. Williams.
I would like to resolve this matter.
Okay. All right. So would you like me to get you a? Yes, Attorney Snyder, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can continue with court.
The judge addresses the issue directly. If the defendant refuses to acknowledge being the person named on the citation, the court still has authority to proceed against that named individual. Attempting to sidestep identity does not stop the case. It simply removes any remaining flexibility.
Mr. Williams, on these tickets?
Excuse me?
I said, is it you, Mr. Williams, on these tickets? Because that's fair. That means that I'm talking to someone who doesn't have these tickets in my courtroom, and so that person has not appeared. But I'm assuming that it's you. Are these your tickets, sir?
If you assume, yes.
Okay.
I stand.
So do you want to, Mr. Williams, do you want to resolve these or not? We can't keep going back and forth. You want to take care of these today with some type of plea or no?
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened by imprisonment if I don't agree to these tickets.
Who's going to send you to prison? I'm not sending anybody to prison today. I'm fining people. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving them fines, monetary fines.
The prosecutor just said she issue a warrant. She recommended a warrant be issued.
Right, but you're not going to get arrested. But she's saying if you're not going to say that you're the person on these tickets. Mr. Williams, I have 20 people. I can't argue with you at the beginning of the docket. I can argue with you at the end of the docket. So I'm going to skip over this matter so we can continue. Let me get everybody else out. Then I'm going to give you all the time in the world, and we're going to figure out what to do with you today, okay? I don't mind taking the time, but I got all these other people on here who are looking like, come on now, okay? So just give me a moment.
Later, the court takes time to explain the situation carefully and in plain language. The judge outlines why the legal theories being argued do not apply and clarifies the defendant's options. This is not a lecture. It is an effort to ensure the defendant understands the consequences of each choice.
We call in the matter of the people versus Timothy Talley Williams. These matters were called on the record previously. I took a moment off. We had quite a busy docket this morning, and I want to make sure that we could give Mr. Williams adequate amount of time to be able to have and all of his questions answered about the matters that are before this court today. Appearances for the record, starting with the city attorney, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322.
All right. He continues to not want counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Correct.
Okay. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Timothy
Last name?
Williams.
Okay, sir. Now you've had the opportunity to sit and look and see how everything pans out and how everything works, Mr. Williams, right? Did you want to be presented with an offer today, or how do you want to move forward?
Well, the offer was to get all this.
So the offer was, I think, so he had some extra cases, Attorney Snyder. So it was FTD, failed to display a valid operator's license, and an open alcohol passenger that was being offered in exchange. He did have a couple of tickets in default, another open intoxicant driver, Attorney Snyder, and it was forged or false police information to a police officer. He may have just given him like a ID that expired. But if you plead to those two cases, the remainder of your cases will be dismissed.
No, I was talking about the agreement between me and you was to get this sorted out today.
Prosecution's position is clear. 15 of the charges would be dismissed in exchange for guilty pleas on 2. That is a significant reduction in exposure. In practical terms, this is the system attempting to resolve the matter efficiently while still enforcing the law.
Right. So so the options are, so these are your options. You can ask for a pretrial. That'll give you some time to get documents together and to get everything back in order and then present it to the court. You can ask for a bench trial. That's a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. Every single one of these officers who have made these allegations would have to appear on that date and come into court. Or you can ask for a jury trial. That's when the officers is in person. 6 citizens of the city of Detroit will make the decision based on the law. Officers still have to come in. You will have to come in at that point in time, and then we can resolve it that way. Those are the 3, or you can plead guilty or plead responsible at this point in time to the offer that has been extended to you. Those are the 4 things that we can do to resolve it today. And I guess the 5th one is if you don't want to do any of those, then it just remains as is and it just remains there. And then eventually it goes into warrant status.
The defendant raises the familiar right to travel argument. The Constitution protects freedom of movement, but it does not exempt anyone from reasonable regulation of licensed activities. Driving a car on public roads is regulated by the states, and those regulations have repeatedly been upheld.
Of Michigan?
Of Michigan what?
No, I'm saying the Supreme Court of what jurisdiction? Michigan or the United States of America?
United States of America.
All right, they wouldn't have jurisdiction over local matters though. And that's gonna be the problem. You're gonna run into every time, Mr. Williams, that local matters are held. The Constitution extends the right for us to locally handle certain matters, such as ordinance violations, misdemeanors, driving offenses.
Right, so if I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. national, what jurisdiction does that fall under? I'm not a resident or a U.S. citizen.
Oh, you don't live in the United States of America?
I live in the United States of America, but not under the jurisdiction.
So that's your resident. Are you born, like, do you have you said you have a passport, is the United States of America passport?
United States of America, but not the United States, the federal territory.
Oh, you didn't get so you don't have like a federal passport given to you. It's not a passport issued by the United States of America.
It is. Now my status is corrected.
Despite the explanations and the offer on the table, the defendant declines and requests a pretrial conference, now scheduled for later in the year. The case continues not because the law is unclear, but because the defendant insists on theories the courts have consistently rejected. That's where things stand for now. That concludes today's breakdown. If you found this analysis helpful, consider engaging with the video and following for future updates. This is Judge Talks, and I'll see you next time.